The Sweatbox Otherkind and Obadius are here at My High Sounds on a fine Saturday night, and we've got them on for some awesome questions. So tell me, Otherkind, what would you do now instead of answering these questions?
Chilling at home.
What was the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
I don't remember.
Whose posters were in your room when you were a kid?
Definitely, I remember the Guns N' Roses and Metallica.
Do you have a verbal conundrum?
Well,
When was the first time when you got drunk?
I think I was around 14, 15 years old. Yeah,
How expensive is too expensive?
too expensive.
What application do you think human race is needing?
I think we don't need anything.
What could you tell me about you as a person? Are you a courageous guy?
I'm a courageous guy. Yeah.
What are 3 things that any man should know how to do?
Cooking.
That's 1.
Oh, you want another one?
3.
3. Cooking, washing the dishes, and do the laundry.
Great.
Oh,
Have you ever danced on Despacito?
No.
Have you cried on it? No. Give me your guilty pleasure song.
Guilty pleasure song. I think I don't have it.
Okay. Your first 3 favorite artists.
My first 3 favorite artists, actually, one of them was Pantra. It was a heavy metal group, and then I had Bon Jovi, and I have to say the Chemical Brothers.
Right. What do you think about when you are in bed before you fall asleep?
Sorry, come again?
What do you think about before you fall asleep?
What I have to do tomorrow.
Okay, great. So, Obadius, instead of answering these questions, what would you be doing now?
well, I was invited for a barbecue party. Probably I would be there having a chicken, a beer.
Do you regret it?
No, definitely not.
Do you regret meeting me?
Oh, for sure not.
What was the sweetest thing you've ever done for your girlfriends?
My girlfriends. It's a hard one, but probably getting her a massive doll once for her birthday. I guess that's probably the sweetest thing I can think of.
Have you been to the circus?
Yeah, sure. When I was a kid.
Okay. What do you think about animals?
Well,
Cats
I
or
do love
dogs?
them. They're lovely.
When was the first time you got drunk?
Probably when I was 16. I remember I went through the stash from my dad and found a bottle of vodka. And that was the first time I drank it.
Would you do it again?
Sure, but probably with something nice to go with it.
What app do you think the human species needs?
I think apps that sort of bring people together, because I feel like we're kind of isolated in terms of communication and everything. Like the communication is there, but we don't really connect much. So I think anything that brings genuine connection, it would be good.
Are you afraid of mice, snakes, or bugs?
Probably bugs.
Okay. What are 3 things that any man should know how to do?
Well, know how to drive a car, know how to cook, and know what to do in bed.
Can I propose to you?
Sure, go ahead.
Joking. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Well, this one, probably songs that I have memories with when I was a kid, like probably some Backstreet Boys stuff, those kind of gay songs. You know?
That's amazing. Gay is happy. That's the translation for the word. What are your 3 favorite artists?
Well, if it's in terms of the DJs and artists that I play, it could be guys like Robert Babbage, Dasha, John Digweed.
That's 3. Thank you.
Okay.
Have you ever danced on Darude Sandstorm?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about before you fall asleep at night?
Well, I try to clear my mind. I try not to think about anything special. That way, I think it's easier to fall asleep.
What parties do you have coming up?
Well, we got guests coming over, our good friends from Jakarta next week. That's the Panasonura guys coming down, Daryl and Rico. That's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. And for the rest of the month and in August, we got great artists coming down as well.
Fantastic. And on the production front, what have you got planned?
Well, for the past couple of months, I've not been very active in the studio, but I've been kind of collecting materials, things, samples, things that I want to integrate.
Ableton or Logic?
For me, Logic.
Ableton or Logic, Otherkind?
For me, the medium is medium. I work with a few, not Logic properly. I work with a few others during my production. I'm still working with them, so I definitely don't have a favorite production tools.
Do you believe in samples when you produce music, or in rather organic use of instruments?
Well, I use the samples actually, so both ways work for me. It's coming to the way that sometimes I need the organic sound. I cannot rely on the sample. So.
And what have you got coming up in terms of production?
In terms of production, I'm working in a 2 EP and 1 single track actually, and one of the single track is actually coming up in a Sweatbox record, and the 2 others EP, which is I think is quite a while. It's like 6-7 months I'm working on it. It still doesn't have any home yet, so later we will update.
Where can we hear your music?
Probably just tonight after this, my gig, or my production. You can find it in the Beatport or any other.
What are your favorite places to tour?
To tour? Definitely, I was in terms of region or country.
Yeah, region, country.
Region
what
for
are
sure.
your
So
favorites?
it would be, I think, east of Europe. It would be nice. Yeah, I really love to do the touring over there. Yes.
The people are nice, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we'll have you in Romania for a while.
Yeah, thank you.
You can party. So, Otherkind, what countries do you prefer in terms of music legacy? And I'm not talking about your favorite music style in particular, but countries that you appreciate and inspire you in, from the music you choose to play at gigs to the music you choose to produce.
Me, definitely. If you want to know, I come from Iran, so definitely it's like my production and sampling, mostly sampling and organic sound coming from Middle East part. So I definitely kind of go to the India and Iran as well. So these are the countries that it's really inspiring me in the music and the instrument I used to play. So yes, that's definitely the countries I'm going through.
How about you, Obadius? What are the countries that inspire you for your...
Well, I mean, I listen to a lot of different stuff. It's not any country or culture in general, but anything that kind of interests me, I try to integrate and sample.
Is what you play different than what you produce?
Yeah, pretty much, I would say. I don't really play my own track much, but yeah, what I play is slightly different than what I produce.
Because you are aiming to get to a point where you're reaching that level of production, or is it because in the process of creating it,
I think
it becomes too much?
It's pretty much about me finding my own sound in production. So I think that's kind of the process I'm going through.
Okay. How long does it take you to produce a given track, like an average time frame? I know that, of course, sometimes you have an idea and it comes out in 24 hours. Sometimes it takes you months to finish it. But on an average, what's your process? How long does it take you?
Well, I think at least probably 2 months minimum from start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about you, Otherkind?
Well, I cannot say that it happened to me that I was almost finished like 80% of a track in maybe just like over 12 hours of the studio non-stop.
Yeah.
I just non-stop working in one track non-stop for 12 hours on the studio, and just like almost getting to the 80% of the track. So it depends on my day, the mood and inspiration I have. So yes, so I cannot say the exact timing. Yeah.
And for both of you, what's your goal for the following year? Where do you see yourself in terms of producing, touring, parties, music direction? Where do you aim to be in 1 year from now?
You go first?
Okay, sure. For me, probably getting more involved with production and more touring, and I might be also moving as well to Europe. So if that happens, I think that would be a great opportunity to get more involved with production as well. And in a year time, I hope to be also be more involved in the scene in bigger festivals, bigger clubs and places around the world.
What do you think about the average artist's exposure now in an area of the internet? Do you think that gaining exposure by being in certain places or leaving your hometown to get that exposure on the ground is an efficient way? What do you think?
Well, I think it's more about the sound you play. It's not really about being in a certain place. I think as long as your sound is something that is diggable, then I think people will look for you.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks for having us.